Hey everyone, welcome to the Pawareness podcast, and thanks for joining me. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and also check us out at pawareness.org and on Instagram at pawareness_official. On Instagram, we are doing submissions for Pet of the Week, where you can submit your foster pet, and we'll pick one winner every month, and we'll give $200 to their choice of charity or foster. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hey everyone, welcome to today's podcast. Today I have a very special guest, Sterling with TrapKing Humane Cat Solutions, and I really like what they're doing. I feel like they're combating one of the largest problems in the cat community right now, which is spade and neutering and just getting cats, fixed. And I'm going to go ahead and let Sterling take it away, introduce himself, and introduce to him more about his organization.
Thanks a lot, bro. Thanks for having me. Like you said, Sterling, TrapKing Davis. I'm with TrapKing Humane Cat Solutions, and our focus is on TNR, which is trap, neuter, and return, and it's the humane alternative for death or euthanasia for stray and feral cat populations. So it's basically humane population control for cats.
Yeah, and everyone I talk to, one of the common issues I ask is like, what do you see as the biggest issue in the community? And everyone always says, just getting these slowing the population down so they don't have to get put down. What I'm wondering is like, how did this all come to be? How did you start this? Does it just happen, or what's the story behind that?
It's crazy, man, because really, I've always been in music and entertainment like my whole life. But in between tours, I was about to go on tour with a dude named Tech9, and I was just looking for something to do in between tour. So I started, and I love cats. I always loved cats, had cats and dogs and stuff, but it was something with cats. So when I saw this ad in Craigslist that was like, hey, come help with some cat scoops and litter, I was like, okay, I'll do that until I go on tour. But when I went and I started working at the shelter, I realized it was like no men or nobody in the Black community engaged in cat rescue. So I was like, man, this is it's crazy. It was weird to me. So I wanted to get into that. I wanted to try to help fill that void between the Black community and cat rescue and community cat care, because it was nobody doing it. Like, even all my homeboys, they'd be like, what, TNR, what is that, a drug or something? I'm like, wow, this is bad. Like, I wanted to educate and like I said, bridge that gap, because it was just no awareness of it.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know who Tech9 is, I highly encourage you to go look him up right now. I know who Tech9 is, but like maybe you can. So what I'm getting at is like you walked away from something that you're good at, and I guess that's a big move. Like, was there a segue into that, or did you just stop cold turkey, or how did that work?
I was, of course it was a big deal because I was about to go on tour with Tech9.
Yeah.
I was trying to get to that point for a while, but it just, I don't know, it just hit me, man. Like, when I was looking at the whole cat rescue thing, like everything that was going on, it seemed like, and I wanted to do something that meant something. Like, as much as I love my music, I wasn't saying everything I wanted to say. Like, in order to get to a certain point in my music, I had to, rap about stuff sometimes that I didn't want to. But in rescue, like when I was working at the shelter for those 2 months and seeing that, it was something that I loved, and it was me. Like, I could really use my real voice for what I wanted to do. So it was almost like legacy type thing. Like, I don't have kids or nothing like that. It was more so thinking, what do I want to do? What do I want to be known for? What do I want to, leave behind? Because at first, rap, like I said, music is cool. I could stand on stage and be dope, and I was getting dope at it, but it's like, man, I think I want to do something that mean a little bit more and all the way around, because that one kind of was everything for me. I didn't too much care for the politics and music. I'll deal with all of this, and I like every aspect of this, so it's pretty dope.
I can really relate to that, man, actually, because I run a couple of businesses, and it's great and everything, but it just is that fulfilling when you're seeing it, like even one animal, you save one animal's life, and you can't put words on it.
Man, earlier today, I'm about ready to pass out, because earlier today, I had got up to return some cats, and it was still like, even tired, I was like, it was still fun. It was still fun sitting there making a little video of them running out of the trap. They looking back, and it was still fun, man. So
And
I
that's
definitely love it.
I wanted to ask you about this too. Like, what advice do you have for someone who is wanting to maybe take their passion for, it could be for this or maybe not necessarily. What advice do you have for them when they're wanting to make that their main project, right? Like, is it all roses and butterflies or
Phew, nah, nah, it wasn't in this, and it's not in anything you're trying to do. Like it don't matter if you rescuing cats or making music, whatever it is. Like, but it's not all roses. It's definitely gonna be hard. Like for me, there was no way I was going to afford cat surgeries and rent at the same time. So I sold all of my stuff and I bought a conversion van, and I live out of my conversion van and I trap out of that conversion van. So it's like I don't have rent now, so I can afford these cat surgeries. That was the thing that I had to take into consideration when I started. And like I said, that's hard work. For me, I still feel like it wasn't something crazy bad because I've been in the military, because I've been on tour. So you live out your sea bag or you live out of a vehicle like that. So for me, it wasn't that hard, but that can be real difficult for a person to be like, okay, I want to get started. I'm gonna sell everything and live out of the conversion van. Like, yeah, let's do it. Like, nah, that ain't for everybody. So it's definitely not easy. If it's something you're gonna do, you wanna make sure you love it.
do you think that having the conversion van has that given you an edge on what you do at all in terms of like getting the cats at all or anything like along those lines?
Oh heck yeah, man! When I worked for the shelter, for the county, you clock in and out, so you don't necessarily just stay there all night. And living in my vehicle, I can go and I can set some traps and I can stay in this location until I catch that cat. I don't have to move. I live out of my vehicle, so I can be there until I can wait it out. So it's definitely some advantages to it, and then just being able to travel and get to difficult situations where at sometimes this because it's a lot of people that do this that work jobs. They go to work, they probably got a kid, take care of their kid, and they do this. So that's a lot. That's a lot. I tip my hat to people like that because it's unbelievable. With me, I literally live out of my van and do this. So it makes it a little more easier for me to get around and do more with it. But for people that's doing it every day plus got jobs, man.
Man, that's such a grounded perspective too, just come from that like humble, grounded perspective. What's your team like, right? I know I saw on your website, is it just you right now or
Yeah, yeah. Right now, it's just been me, man. Like I put a lot of volunteers in different groups and stuff. So, like I went to Hollywood, Florida,
okay.
and we had an event out there where first I taught people how to work the traps, and then we had about 20 people come out to learn how to work the traps, and then after that, the next day we went out and set the traps and caught some cats. We ended up catching like 74 cats that day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like a mobile vet and everything. Like we killed it, man. So stuff like that, like events like that is what I do a lot of. I want to get more into that. So like bringing people together, I get other people engaged and liking it like the way I do. Oh my goodness.
One person can make a huge change and it's a snowball effect for sure. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I'm sure you've seen that firsthand. In terms of when you're picking places to go, how does that come out to be? Do they, I mean, I'm assuming, are there just a lot of cats, like stray cats everywhere, or how does that work?
Well, it is. I mean, it is a lot of stray cats everywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, more so in the warmer climates like LA, Florida, because it's hot year round. So mating season for cats is when it's warm. Like we get married when it's hot, they mate when it's hot. So so more in the warmer climates. But a lot of times people just call out, like shoot me an email or a phone call, and they like, hey, I seen like 3 or 4 cats over here. I think this one just had kittens, and can you help me? Like, because they didn't see me on some Facebook cat group or something like that. So that's usually how it works. I get a ton of emails on just, hey, can you come get this cat, or how does this work?
Man, we'll have all your links and everything like that, contact information, all of that in the description below as well. If you guys are curious, and we'll touch on that at the end of the episode. I also want to know, do you actually have any cats in your conversion van, or do you just keep it just you, or how does that work?
No, I actually got two cats. I got one cat named Amita Joe. She's 2 years old. She's been with me since she was younger. We was trying to rescue her mom, and her mom unfortunately was hit by a car. But her and her three siblings were in some bushes next to where her mom was at. So I worked with a group called the Amazing Acro Cats. They helped me nurse my kitten. So we got her back healthy. I adopted her. So I didn't. She's 2 years old. She rides with me somewhere everywhere. So I just recently was supposed to not adopt this other cat, but I ended up doing it because she was too cute. I'm over a friend's house right now where I'm at, and it was over here where I trapped my cat that I have now named Alanis Musette because she real little with a big voice, and I had to keep her. I was supposed to just give her to this foster group, but I'm trying to set the trap, and she was almost jumping in my arms. It was crazy.
Man, that's how the cat I have now, her name is Beans, and it's just like most cats run away, but like she just ran up to me when
Right.
I was just like, how am I supposed to fight this?
Yeah. Yeah. I knew I was done because she was just running up to me. I'm like, oh man, it's over.
I feel like, especially when it comes to fostering, I fostered dogs. I've never fostered cats. The reason why I don't foster cats, I just feel like I would get attached too quickly because I'm a
Oh
cat guy.
yeah.
So I can
Oh yeah.
definitely relate to that. Now, you mentioned the amazing Acro cats. That's a great name, by the way. That's very catchy to me. And what got me thinking was you have all these network, you have all of these partnerships. It seems like everyone's just, I feel like you've got such a great network. How did you do that? Since you
What
started doing what you're doing, has there been resistance or?
I've definitely had some resistance as far as I'll say my biggest or resistance is probably the bird people. Like
Real?
people like,
Oh,
I get like even instant messages and stuff. Like they'll reach out in emails and instant messengers saying, hey, you're doing what you're doing with those cats and it's bad for the birds. Like cats are killing birds. So I deal with that a lot because I have to constantly explain that, hey, what I'm doing is humane population control for cats. So the better I control the population, the better we, have set feeding times and we do proper TNR and proper community cat care. That's better for the birds. So what I'm doing is good for birds, but they just see your cats, we're birds, you're killing us. And it's like, it's not that, but I get a lot of kickback from that. So
I would think since you're controlling the population, there's less feral cats that are out there trying to eat birds.
right,
Somewhat kind of
right.
like if you were to drop a predator in the middle of wherever, it's going to thin out that population or whatever. It just seems like you're slowing it down. Interesting. That's something I didn't talked about that yet.
Yeah, I've gotten it.
Now, what are you working on, or where do you see what you're doing? Like, how do you see that transpiring over the next, couple of years? Where do you really want to take TrapKing?
What I'm working on now is like, because that's the thing, like I said, what I learned is one group isn't going to do this, one person isn't going to do this. It's going to take a team effort, everybody, getting involved. So the next thing, I'm actually running a campaign right now, GoFundMe for my RV, for the Trap RV, to upgrade out of the van because it's getting tight for me and my two cats. But the purpose is to travel the country and do it because I've been lucky to have a platform because of social media and stuff. So I want to take that and shine that light on a lot of other rescuers that's doing the same thing, but they don't have the funds or they don't have a bunch of social media followers or whatever to be able to raise the donations and get the grants that they need to do what they're doing. So I want to travel around the country, get with groups, get with rescuers, and just highlight them and do that and really push the word of TNR and community cat care. So that's the next move, man.
I think that's so great that you found. I feel like it's really important for someone or an organization to find out what they're really good at and you double down on it. And you're like, I know what I bring to the table, and here's what I'm gonna do, and you're just doing your thing. I think that's amazing. If someone is wanting to get in touch with you, what's the best way for people to do that? What's your, social media, website? What's that all like?
Well, the website is www.trapkinghumane.org. That's the nonprofit website. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, it's the_original_TrapKing. And on Facebook, it's just, you can go to the Facebook TrapKing page. You'll see my big head, but if you put in TrapKing on there, you'll see me with a bunch of cats. But that's about it. You know, Facebook, Instagram. I'm in a bunch of groups on Facebook. Like if it's a cat rescue group, I'm probably hopping in and out trying to see who's talking about what, who needs some help, trying to learn or spread some knowledge. So I'm always on Facebook with that, and cat groups too.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, I feel like we definitely need more people out there like you that are just constantly, you know, doing what you're doing, spreading the good fight against cat overpopulation and taking massive action to slow that down. That's amazing.
I love it, man. I actually love it.
I love talking with people that are just super passionate about what you're doing. I say you could be a cardboard box builder. And if you are the most
Right,
passionate cardboard box builder, that enthusiasm is transferable. It's a real thing. So,
right.
super fortunate to have gotten to speak with you today. I look
Mhm.
forward to, learning more from you. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Man, thanks for having me. Seriously, thanks. It's been an
Uh,
honor.
no problem. All right. Well, take care and have a great rest of your day.